Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are following us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Give us a 5-star rating. It massively helps us out. Enjoy.
Okay, we need to touch on it because there's been a lot of stuff going into the opening weekend, especially about who do you go for? Núñez, Haaland. Who's going to do well? Who's not going to do well? Are they both going to flop? Are they both great? This man obviously thinks Haaland was going to flop. Proved wrong.
No. Slow start, and I'm completely. I've been obliterated by the Norwegian robot, so I can't really argue.
The Norwegian robot is my
One
goat.
thing I do want to say is, I didn't think that City would adapt to his strengths as quickly as they did.
They're Manchester City.
Yeah,
they're the best manager in the world.
That is true. Did you watch the game? Well, obviously we watched the game, but tactically, when Walker and Cancelo become inverted, Gundogan and KDB as 8s can be right next to Haaland, which means the through balls are just
tactical knowledge.
No, it is. It is true. Like,
Kyle Walker played the majority of that game at centre mid.
And Cancelo, right?
Yeah.
And Cancelo, so basically no fullbacks to allow the 8s to push up, which means Haaland can get in behind, which is his strength, and he scored 2 through balls.
What was the difference between against West Ham and against Liverpool in the Community Shield final?
I think it was just down to fitness almost. I think there was a level of intensity that we didn't have against Liverpool, that because we're one game behind Liverpool. Liverpool scheduled in an extra game in pre-season, so we were one game behind, and it looked like we arrived where we should have maybe at the Community Shield level at West Ham, and the intensity was unbelievable. I thought the quality on the ball, and I thought when Haaland came in, we'd actually go Kyle Walker and Cancelo overlapping, stretch the pitch, get crosses in.
Which you sort of did in the final.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think actually in this game against West Ham, it was like packed. It was like
Foden and Grealish wide. Everybody else just shut out the midfield.
Exactly. And then you one ball in and you get a penalty out of nowhere. And when West Ham at home have to go and press aside and try and get a goal back when they're 1-0 down, there's space in behind. We scored 2 types of goals against West Ham within 50 odd minutes. Unbelievable.
Can I just say the KDB through ball as well is actually ridiculous. Like, that guy is unbelievable.
Well, you said during the game, you're like, one of the ways Man City need to learn how to score is by playing the ball in behind into Haaland, and you thought maybe they didn't have that in the locker. You were proven wrong. KDB threaded the needle through the eye, and he went straight to Haaland, and it's just the man is a robot. The man isn't real.
Yeah. But I mean, that combination of a 40-yard through ball, inch perfect, Haaland scoring, we are going to see a lot.
I'm all for it. And did you see Pep come out and say, like, 1 minute Haaland wasn't ready to adapt to the Premier League, next minute he's the second coming of Thierry Henry?
Well,
is that what he said?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I heard someone's, I think it was Gary Neville talks about Thierry Henry, but that is Thierry Henry's finish. Get around the ball and there's almost, I don't think there's any keeper in the world that would have saved that second goal. I'm not saying it's a Ballon d'Or winning kind of goal. I'm not saying that, but the finish so near to the keeper, it's a world-class finish in that position, and we see a lot of strikers fluff those.
He doesn't actually take a touch in that finish as well.
He just loops around the ball.
Really?
Yeah, not a single first touch. The ball goes through.
He's not real.
He obviously positions himself around the ball and just strokes it home.
Those are actually the hardest to score, because the more time you have as a striker, the more pressure it is, the more you start overthinking.
I usually score them as well.
So do I.
Apparently. I do score a lot.
I've actually seen it.
He's got a Haaland left foot, mate.
I do.
Yeah.
The Shoreditch
traction
robot.
engine.
The Shoreditch robot. You've got the Norwegian robot.
I've got a great goal to game ratio.
No, it is.
At Power League.
Arguably
one of the highest
better than
in the history
Erling
of the
Haaland.
whole company of Power League.
Would you say, if you were up front for...
I do.
Would you say
Elliot doesn't. He can't even finish.
If you were up front for City, bearing in mind how many tap-ins they could score this season, how many do you get this year?
Was it me who was on the pod last time we did this, or was it someone else? But I saw the clip that went semi-viral at least.
It was Tom that we were discussing.
Was it Tom? Yeah. I would. Oh yeah, it was Tom. Sorry. Yeah. I'd score at least 10 in the City
I
side.
agree.
We play Oxford in the League Cup round 1, and I'd score 5.
I agree
honest to
there.
God.
Yeah.
You bully defenders.
Yeah. Well, and it's the pace that I've got in behind. It's unbelievable.
So if you score 10, how many goals does Haaland get this season?
I said it 40 in all comps. 40. If he stays fit, this guy's unbelievable. Let's be.
No. I'm not agreeing. I'm just. Yeah. I'm saying that's a valid point.
He's being polite.
Yeah,
I am being polite.
When you say and nod along, it sounds like you sort of are agreeing.
No, I'm making the guest feel comfortable. That's what I do.
But let's be completely real. Salah comes from Roma. What, a top 6 club in Italy? I don't think the Italian league is a great league either. And he's a winger. And he scores 31 in his first season under one of the great managers. So Haaland's a better finisher than Salah is.
For sure.
No question about it. And he's got easier. He's in the middle of the goal.
And he's got Kevin De Bruyne.
I think Gundo and Kev are vital to how many goals.
I mean, you saw Gundogan's pass and turn into both of their the two midfielders we were just talking about fed in Haaland, and his goal, his first goal when he went round the keeper. the speed to get onto that.
ridiculous.
Everyone's like, "Oh, the keeper should have come out earlier." No, he came out as fast as he could.
Yeah.
But his legs are so long, and he's such a robot. His acceleration is 100.
We've got to get rid of the robot chat because I think Henri was robotic at finishing. But we talk about him as this kind of artistry player and
He
his
had
talent.
flair. I don't think Haaland has
I think
flair.
Haaland's got a bit. I think you'll
Do you
see some
think?
crazy stuff from Haaland. I think you'll see
I
some
want to see a
mad
flip
stuff.
flap.
Flip flap.
But
He might
yeah,
not.
maybe not as much as Henri, but I think you'll see a bit of.
He's just totally
techers.
efficient, isn't he? That's why.
He's from the German league, and they're notoriously efficient.
Werner's gone back there
Yeah, because he's
after complete inefficiency.
after complete inefficiency. Yeah, that got backfired. Do you think at the end of Haaland's Man City career, he'll have a better legacy than Aguero?
No,
I don't think he lasts long enough at the club. In all honesty,
Could he become top goal scorer if he stays there?
if he stayed there
If he
for 10
stays,
years, I
yeah.
think there's a great chance. I think Aguero, you can't buy the Aguero goal against QPR. You couldn't set it up. You couldn't make a movie about it. You couldn't write a script like QPR. You couldn't.
But
If
that's
you
why
do
it's the greatest
stadium-
Premier League moment of all time.
Exactly.
Oh, 100%. I fully agree. Do you think because of that, if he didn't score that goal, would he break Aguero's? Or was that just pointless because he did score the goal?
No, Aguero was, instrumental in so many, other things as well. Helping us, win back-to-back Premier Leagues as well under Guardiola. So it's hard when you do your first one as obviously as an Arsenal fan, like when you were growing up, you'd already won a couple of leagues, from the 90s and stuff. City hadn't won anything for 30, 40 years. So for Aguero to be instrumental in our first Premier League ever, I mean, you can't buy that.
Do you see? Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say it's like interesting you keep making this comparison to Aguero because Haaland is the first new signing to score a brace since Sergio Aguero on his debut.
Well, he's a debut merchant. He doesn't.
Debut
He is a debut merchant.
He is, yeah, he is.
He
First
doesn't
10 games, he's going to
Yeah.
get 15 goals.
Do you think I saw Shearer tweeted like only 258 to go or whatever?
Yeah.
Could he do it if he stays?
He is young enough.
He's young enough.
Yeah,
Young
in the
enough.
Premier
If he
League.
stays fit, it's his interest in the Premier League. Is he interested in
Yeah.
being a 10-year? Look at De Bruyne. De Bruyne stays at City, and he'll stay there. He'll stay at City for 10 years probably because his kids are happy, his wife's happy. If Haaland builds a life, it's all about being like a human being in Manchester. Is he happy in Manchester? Who knows?
Well,
It's hard,
he
isn't it?
wrecks the Stoney already.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
He's part of the
ingrained.
culture.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
dad's from what, Leeds?
He was born in
He was
Leeds, yeah.
born in Leeds.
Born in
Yeah.
Leeds, yeah.
Maybe he might do a shock return back to Leeds.
Could you imagine? Replace Patrick Bamford.
Go down into the Championship next season.
Wait, they might not go down. They look pretty
City
good.
did have, by the way, 75% of the possession.
But that's what makes it
Away.
crazy is because that fixture usually West Ham look like they can cause damage, but City weren't even out of third gear and they
Mate, it's the
literally
5
didn't
sub
look
rule.
like
They're too overpowered this year, and obviously he wasn't the only one to make his debut. Calvin Phillips,
Yeah, nice.
Alvarez even
Alvarez
played. He
did,
played all right
yeah,
when he
yeah,
came on.
yeah.
Thoughts on them?
I think Calvin Phillips got a massive role to play. I'm quite a boring guy when it comes to football. My first big name on the back of my Man City shirt from one of the new transfers was Gareth Barry. I thought, honestly, God, I'm that kind of guy. I love
Premier League icon, most games ever played.
Yeah,
Why
I
would you
love
not?
Gareth Barry because he came in. He had the level of maturity that City fans hadn't seen him. We had Danny Mills 5 years before. Do you know what I mean?
Like, don't diss Danny Mills. He's my guy.
Gareth Barry came in, keeps it simple, ticks it around. I love it. I absolutely love Gareth Barry. And Calvin Phillips has got a bit of Gareth Barry about him. He doesn't lose the ball. He's actually really good on the ball, Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
He's physical. He's great off the ball. He's really important for City this season. Really, really
And he
important.
will be if you're planning to keep playing that sort of structure again with 2-8s and then just a guy that sits. Him and Rodri like interchangeable.
Rodri
really.
could go further up the pitch. That's the
That's-
thing. So
yeah, he is
everyone's talking
capable
about
of
Bernardo
doing it.
Silva leaving. Gundogan had a great game. I think he's instrumental. He
Yeah.
didn't play enough for me last season. I think if he had more of an impact, maybe even against Real Madrid, for example, and kept the ball a little bit better than we did.
Won you the Prem.
Well, exactly.
Everyone
He was
scored brace.
instrumental.
Yeah.
Instrumental. So he's got 1 year left.